This is Gerald Turvanwas. I started explaining how we use our focus in naming certain body parts in a couple of English words. And I will compare them now to French words. How do we do that? What is already sure and what is already certain, or should already be certain, is that when we use body parts, it's not because we associate it with body that it has to be a description of a body part. It's more a description of where is it, where do we associate it, how do we move it, or is it stable, is it steady? If it's stable and steady, we use the 9 first letters in my scheme. If it's moving, if it's changing, we use the next couple of letters. And if it is related into a place in a contextual frame, like somewhere in the environment, where you say, okay, there we use that body part. Mostly, of course, we use these last couple of letters. And that's how I build up these letters. So you have a couple of letters here, very quickly associated, a couple of them. When we have a steady focus, when there's a movement involved, okay, or a change involved and so on, from the body to the environment, we can have a couple of other letters. And if it's more associated with the environment itself, we have other letters. And that's how we give an order to letters. That's how we very quickly give it an association, a frame, which frames it. It's always one of the 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is the basis of the whole structure of how we give an order to letters, and that's the order which letters are given. And that's how I came to the conclusion that, for instance, when I take an example, head and hand, which both starts with H, they are the 2 body parts that are related outside the steady body, outside the movement from body to the outside world, but they work separately as an association. The head as a separate association. We start to think with the head separately from the physical reality. We say, okay, we also use it differently. It's the head of a system. It's the head of something. We can say that as well. And the hand, if we associate a hand, if we perform the hand, if we give a hand, all these things which we associate with the hand are also contextual, and they are not directly related to the movements from the body onwards, at least not in a dependent way. The hand, in that way, as you can see, it's that contextual frame, and so the head can be H-E-A, and hand H and A, or just a place. With A we find a place for it, we find a place for the hand. With the head we find a place and a time process for it, so that we also move it or changes, or we move it. Hand is not so well associated with that we need a time frame for it. Of course, we give a hand is within a time frame, that's correct, but the hand on its own functions just as at a certain place where we need it. The head is not just at a certain place, but it's also within a certain timing frame there. So not that you can stretch all these things. A hand can become handy, of course, but it's mostly a functional place that it gets there somewhere. While the head is also like it's heading somewhere, it's moving somewhere. So this function is related or associated here with so with both place and time at the same time and on the same level. The French things, okay, in a way, these 2 body parts should have actually the same kinds of association, because they are outside the body into a contextual frame. They are easily put into a contextual frame. It shouldn't be too much with it as a difference with the French words, but they're not pronounced with H, with that frame, that 3-dimensional frame in which it exists. The H is that 3-dimensional frame of the full environment in time and space where these things can be associated. No, they both start actually with an association of that it is connected to the place in the body. So the T says, okay, it's there in the body from T to T, and the M is also, it's at the extension of the body. So it starts actually from the body, but the same thing in both words are the sound E. E is a bit, yeah, it is a bit difficult to, the E of the A is actually it's more E, tête, main, it's the A, not the E, A is a sound which is also a combined sound, a complex sound. So you have the E in it, you have the A in it. Maybe you could say it might even have other association. It's a more difficult for tête. Where does that letter comes from? In A, it's written down as A plus E. So okay, we have something. E means also it's contextual. It's contextual in time and space. So it is decided at a certain time and space. There it will fit. And the N says, okay, here I decide there it will fit and I can go to it in the extension of my body. The main is almost like your hand is going to where it can be used in the environment. So in that way it is somewhat related with the English word as an association in that same contextual frame. The tête, a bit more difficult, because yeah, what is it? Is it A plus E? Is it E plus E plus is A plus I? Why? How do we pronounce E? It has a different letter. It's a letter actually quite unique. It's only in French there. Also there, it has that range of that contextual frame. It's already that extra sign makes us believe and associate it. Okay, it should be directed into a bigger context, not just a movement within a body, no, a movement or changes within a big contextual frame. So in that way it's the same as the main is reaching out somewhere. The tête is also giving a certain range in context where we can add it. It has a physical relationship with T, but the E says, okay, maybe there's change and movement. This change and movement can go from that place to anywhere. It can be added anywhere. It's contextual. It's quite contextual. In a lot of words that are connected with each other, like here with body parts, here in the French words, it already assumes that that it shows here where's the range also. So the range of the tête, it's attached here from T to T, but you can have it in it ranges towards right and left to anywhere it is, and it can be somewhere in a certain context. Ma as well, it reaches out, it has its own, it goes to that range, and there we have it where we can say, okay, here it fits. Arm, we already had also. The arm was an extension from the body parts connected to the context of the environment. It's not much different from the French thing, which is breaking out to the side, connecting to the environment, and there we have a place for it. With the S at the end, which you don't say, says, okay, it has that outer range. Quite vaguely as well, it only as well, just like the tête or the main, shows not much more than when we see a person, we name that body part, we say, okay, the range from the body to the environment to the contextual bigger environment is there. That's the range of where the bras or the arms are. It's actually also the same place, but it doesn't say much more, like here is the range of where I see it, there are the arms. It doesn't say how the arm looks like, hardly also where it's used for, but it shows its range. You have the B, and then the connection to the environment, and then the outer range that it can have. You cannot go further than the S. So it's the outer reach that you can have with your arms around that body part into the environment. Not much more than that, actually. That range of the tête, T plus T, T is really a place. Main, also a placement at the outer parts of the extensions of the body. That's where the M in my system expresses the outer range of the material, how far you can go with it. So the main is at the outer range. Also there you have the range with a certain reach where you associate it with other usages. And that's more or less the way how you have to think with body parts in this way, like in a lot of words that hang together. They're almost like a balance between all these words, like how far do we need to go, how far is the range between all these points that I see there, and how is it associated within my environment in these 1, 2, 3 positions. That's it.